Very good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon, students. Am I audible? Please, if I'm audible, please let me know in chat section. Okay, good afternoon. Very good afternoon. Okay, so we'll wait for a few minutes because only three students are there right now in meeting. Okay, so let me ask you a few things. In the previous session, we have discussed about DC motor and we have simulated the DC motor in MATLAB. Okay, so how many of you have practiced that? And are you facing any difficulty in that simulation? Akash, have you done that simulation? Lemmy, Toy Toy Kang? Because I have already shared my simulation with you also for your reference. And even we have shared the recording of the session also with you. But have you practiced? Akash, Lemmy, Toy Toy, have you practiced that simulation by your own? Have you developed that simulation? Okay, so student, please make sure that you will practice all the things that we are discussing in the session. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to learn the MATLAB because this is the tools. Okay, I will show you everything. Okay, you will also meanwhile, suppose if you are practicing with me, then also you can able to understand. Yes, this is how it is working. But after 5 to 10 days or 15 days, if you try to do it by yourself, okay, it might not work. Okay, because this tool will require a practice, then and then you will able to learn it properly. Okay, so let's start with our session. In the previous session, let me revise because a few students are there in the session who were not there in the previous session. Okay, so let me share my screen and I will show you the simulation, okay, that we have developed in the previous session. Okay, and then we will do. Yeah, can you able to see my screen, student? Is my screen visible? Okay, so you can see over here, guys, we have done the simulation on DC motor. Okay, so we have selected one DC machine and you can see over here we are using the preset model. Preset model means already the data of various machines are there predefined in the MATLAB. Okay, so we are using 5 HP 240 volt 1750 RPM and the field is rated for 300 volt. So we are using this particular motor for our simulation. Okay, and you can see the parameters, various parameters of the machine have been already you can say loaded over here. So we are using a preset model and we are providing the mechanical input, that is a load torque over here from this particular thing. Okay, so this is your load torque. Okay, we are having the electromagnetic torque and we are measuring the speed in radian per second. Okay, you can convert that speed into RPM also if you need. Okay, you will require just one gain to convert that speed into RPM. Okay, so can anyone let me please let me know how we can convert the speed from radian per second into RPM. Okay, we are having a speed available over here that is in radian per second. I want to convert it into RPM, so how we can do that? how we can convert the speed from radian per second into RPM.
Omega is equal to 2 pi n by 60.
Yes, great, Karthik. So just we are inserting one gain over here. Okay. So the speed is there in radian per second. We will want it in RPM, radian revolution per minute. Okay. So just multiply radian per second with 60 by 2 pi. Okay. Just multiply it with 60 by 2 pi. So 60 by 2 pi. So that is nothing but it is 30 by pi. So I'm multiplying the speed in radian per second with 30 by pi. So over here you can see instead of a value of pi, I am just writing pi. Okay, pi is one of the, you can say, a predefined variable of MATLAB. You can see over here, pi is predefined. Same way I, J, okay, same way ESP. Okay, so EPS. Okay, so these are the predefined variables. Okay, so suppose let's say if you enter the pi, you will get the value of pi. But suppose if I define the variable like this, a equivalent to 1. Okay, now it is a temporary variable. Okay, it will be there in workspace. But suppose if you are saying that pi equivalent to 2, okay, so you can see now if I write pi, it will give me the value 2, not 3.4. Okay? So this thing that you should keep in your mind, okay, it is very critical thing. Whenever you are doing the simulation, okay, in the MATLAB, and you are using the various variables, okay, make sure that you will not use the variable name that is used by the MATLAB to define the predefined variables like pi, I, j, okay, EPS. So don't use that variable. So now I am clearing this all the variables. Okay, so now you can see all the variables are now cleared, and I'm clearing the screen. So screen is also clear. Okay. So over here, we are just entering 30 by pi. Okay. So now if you can see, if I've cleared the variable from the workspace, if I enter the pi, I will get the value of the pi actually. Okay. Actually, it is predefined. And you can write the command clear all to clear all the variables from your workspace. And to clear the command window, you can write the command CLC. Okay. These are the very basic commands that you can easily understood. So over here, we are multiplying the speed in radian per second with 30 by pi. So we'll get the speed in RPM. Okay. Now let me run the simulation. Over here, you can see the armature is connected to a DC supply, and we have connected one current measurement block in series for the measurement of armature current. And this is the 240 volt as per the rated voltage. You can see the armature is rated for 240 volt and the field is rated for a 300 volt. Okay. Now you can see this is the field winding F plus and F minus. So over here you can see we have applied the voltage that is 300 volt. Okay. Now the mechanical load we are providing. Okay, this machine is rated for 5 HP. Okay, 5 HP means you can convert it into a kilowatt, and you are having the speed, so you can find out the rated load torque. So I am operating this motor on a rated load torque. So initially up to 0.5 second, motor is operating at zero speed. Sorry, at no load torque. Okay, means on no load. Okay, so just loading on the motor is just due to inertia of its rotor, nothing else, and friction and windage. No extra mechanical load is there up to 0.5 second. And after 0.5 second, we are applying the load of 20.3536 Newton meter. Okay, this we have calculated from the simple equation that T equivalent to P by omega. Okay, we are having the rated mechanical power that is 5 HP converted into a kilowatt, and we are having the speed that is 1750 RPM. So if you convert it into a radian per second, you will get omega. So if you take a ratio of PM by omega m, you will get the mechanical rated load torque. So this is the rated load torque of this machine. Okay, so if I provide 20.35 load on Newton meter of load on the motor will take a rated current, and also the speed of the motor will be nearer to a rated speed that is 1750 RPM. Okay, so let's run the simulation and let's check the results. Okay, what results we are obtaining. So you can see over here, I am opening this scope right now. Okay, so you can see over here, student, these are the results. Okay, this is the speed. You can see over here up to 0.5 second, it is operating on no load. Okay, this is your mechanical load. This is your mechanical load. You can provide the signal name by right clicking on it. Okay, and you can go to a property. Okay, so now it is, you can say, printed in finger window. Okay, now configure property. Okay, a signal label. I am providing the signal label over here. Load torque in Newton meter. Okay, you can see that label is over here, and this is the speed of motor in RPM. Speed of motor in RPM. So you can see the label. So this is how you can provide the label. Okay. Now you can see over here until 0.5 second, the speed is 0. But after 0.5 second, we are providing the rated load torque, that is 20.35. Okay. And you can see over here, initially motor is producing a very less torque. Okay. Initially the motor is producing very less torque. So you can see over here, initially it is, see, during the starting, it have to produce the large torque. Why? Because we have to accelerate the motor from 0 to overcome the stiction and friction. Okay, that is Coulomb friction and that is stiction. Okay, so to overcome that, the motor have to produce the large torque. So motor will accelerate. Once the motor is achieved the rated speed, the torque will reduce. Okay, that this is the torque produced by motor, that is electromagnetic torque. Now you can see over here. Okay, this is the torque. Okay, initially you can see how amount of load torque is producing a 1.2 Newton meter only. It is producing a 1.2 Newton meter only. So actually 1.2 Newton meter is nothing but it is the friction windage, and it is the load due to inertia of a rotor. Okay, but now once we are providing the load on the shaft of the motor, you can see this is our command load torque. We are providing 20.35 Newton meter of load. So you can see over here now motor should produce that amount of torque. Okay, you can see over here. Okay, it is slightly producing higher. Why? Because it have to overcome the inertia as well as the friction and windage losses. So that's why it is producing slightly higher. Actually, how much higher? So you can also find it out. See over here, whenever it is operating under no load, it is producing what amount of torque? It is producing a 1.2 Newton meter. Okay, and now we are providing the command of 20.35. Okay, so now it should be producing 21.4. So you can see it is producing a 21.41 Newton meter. Okay, so actually a 20.35 your mechanical load torque, and 1.2 Newton meter is for the inertia and to overcome the friction and windage losses. Okay, so this is you can see the torque response, and you can see over here initially motor is operating at no load and its rated speed is 1735 rpm, 1730 rpm. Okay, it is, sorry, 1750 rpm. Okay, 1750 rpm. But initially you can see whenever motor is operating under a no load condition, its speed is uh, slightly higher than the rated speed. It is 2236 rpm. But you can see once we are applying the load on the motor, you can see its speed is 1750 rpm. Okay, so this is just a basic operation of DC motor and the simulation of DC motor. Okay, so now if you are having any doubt in this simulation, okay, up to this, please let me know. Any doubt or any query? Student, please respond. And how many of you are practicing with me? Yes, what about what speed? Okay, speed. Okay, so over here you can see we are operating the motor at a no load initially. Okay, so if you operate a motor at a no load, the speed will be slightly higher than the rated speed. And you can see over here, its rated speed that we are knowing, it is 1750. You can see it over here. It's rated speed we are knowing. It is mentioned over here. It is 1750 rpm. It is 1750 rpm. Okay, it's the rated speed of motor. But you can see over here initially whenever it is operating under a no load condition, its speed is higher. Okay, because there are no load on the motor. Okay, but whenever we are applying the load, okay, you can see over here the speed is 1750 rpm. That is the rated speed. Okay, so now is it clear, Lemmy? Okay, okay. Now let me show you some customizations over here in the scope. Okay, so over here you can see this is the scope. Okay, many time whenever you want to plot this result, you should, later on we'll also conduct the session on that, how to print the result and all that thing. But while doing the simulation, many times we'll find that this black version of the scope is not convenient, or it is not proper for you can say seeing. So you can also edit this particular scope. So if you go to style from the view, okay, if you go to a style, okay, you will find out the option of the figure color. Okay, so I am setting the figure color to white. Okay, axis color to a white, and this is the you can see the tick mark color. Okay, this one. Okay, the tick mark that they have provided. Okay, so that I will select is a black. Okay, and if you apply it, okay, you can see now it's quite good, it is white. Okay, and you can change the axis, you can say a line color to a blue. Okay, so and you can also increase it width. Suppose let's say it is 2, so you can see that line more clearly. You can also change the line style if you want, like this. Okay, dotted line. Okay, dash dot line. Okay, same way if you go over here. Okay, the another line is there. Same thing you can also do if you go to a style. Okay, active display, select the second one. So now this is selected, you can see the blue box. Okay, you can change the color. Suppose let's say this is red. Okay, change the line width. Okay, so line width it change. And you can also change the line style. Okay, and let's go for the active display 3. Okay, so this is for speed, and let's change its color to something orange, and this is, let's say, 2, and this is a dotted line. And you can see over here. So this is how you can edit the view, or you can say a style of the scope. Okay, is it clear? You can also store this data. Okay, you can also store this data of the speed, torque, and load torque into the workspace. Okay, suppose if you need that data for the analysis, you can also store it in the workspace if you require. Okay, so suppose let's say if I need the data of a speed, torque, and load torque. Okay, so you can go to this configuration property, and if you go to a data logging and just turn on the data logging. Okay, and over here you can select it is a structure with time, and you can write the data over here. You can provide the variable name. Suppose let's say I'm providing a variable name AB1. Okay, so and once again if you run the simulation, right now you can see there are no variables. Okay, there are no variables. Now if you run the simulation, okay, once again, and you can see over here, if you go to this particular block, okay, and you can see there is one variable, that is AB1. Okay, so one variable is there. Okay, AB1, and you can see over here there is signals. Okay, so 3 signals are there. So this is signal 1. Okay, so signal 1 is all about the speed. So this is the data of a speed, you can see. Okay, and another signal is of electromagnetic torque, which is produced by a motor. And the third signal, that is for load torque. Okay, initially it was 0, and then we are increasing it to a 20.35 36. Okay, so 3 signals are there in this particular AB variable. So AB is created as one pointer structure. Okay, which is created as one structure. Okay, it is not a variable, it is structure. Okay, and inside it you will find out the time. Okay, so over here you can see the total time starting from 0 to 1 second. Okay, we are running our simulation for 1 second, so 0 to 1 second. Okay, and you can find out the different variables. Now you can also plot that. Okay, suppose let's say if I plot, okay, if I want to plot the graph of time versus speed, means I want this same graph, but if I want to use it for suppose let's say a publication or preparing a report or for preparing a presentation, so I want to show this result, okay, of the speed. So many students, what they are doing, they are directly taking a screenshot of this one, but that is not a proper way of doing that. Okay, so how you can do that? First of all, you have to store that data into a workspace. So now the data is available in the workspace. Okay, so now we can use the function that is a plot. Okay, and over here plot out dot ab1 dot time versus we want to plot the speed signal. So it is out dot ab1 dot signal 1 dot values. Okay, and if you enter, you can see this graph is plotted. Okay, you can see how it is very well plotted. Okay, over here it is the same graph of the speed, okay, that we are having in the scope. Okay, so let me reduce this. You can see it is the same graph. Okay, so now you can edit this if you want. Okay, you can completely edit this graph if you click on this edit figure window and property inspector. You can completely edit this graph. Okay, you can provide the legend and everything. Okay, so that thing will also discuss later on, but just for sake of your information, I have displayed this thing or presented this thing. Okay, now let's go for the speed control. Okay, so now can anyone let me know if uh, what is the relationship between the field current and the speed of separately excited DC motor? So over here, this is your field current. You can see, let me show you the graph over here. See, the field current is right now how much? It is approximately 1.07, okay, 1.066 ampere. Okay, so now student, what is the relationship between the speed and the field current in separately excited DC motor? What is the relationship between the speed and the field current in separately excited DC motor? Yes, I am getting the response from Lemmy. Yes, good. What about other student? What is the relationship between the speed and the field current? Yes, from I'm getting the response from Karthik. Okay, so today I will show you the control of speed control of DC motor. Okay, by using a very simple technique by inserting registers in series. Okay, so let me first of all share a whiteboard over here. Okay, so what we will be doing today? Okay, we'll do this thing. Okay, we are having a DC motor. Okay, we are having DC motor. Okay, and this is your armature current, that is IA. Okay, and this is VA armature, and this is your field. Okay, and we will be inserting one resistor in series with the field winding to control the field current, and over here we are having the supply for the field winding. So this is your VF. Okay, and this current which is flowing over here, it is your IF. Okay, this is your resistance, that is external resistance connected in winding. Okay, so now it's very simple. The speed of a DC series DC separately excited DC motor, it is inversely proportional to the field current, that is 1 upon IF. Why it is inversely proportional to a field current? Can anyone let me know? Why it is proportional, inversely proportional to a field current? Field current reduction increase the motor speed. There is no field current causes the infinite. Yes, the ideally if there is a no field current, okay, your speed is infinite. Okay, but from where those students who are not knowing, from where we can discuss these equations. It is quite simple. Okay, suppose let's say we are having the equation. What is the equation of back EMF? back EMF of DC motor, that is P phi Z N uh, by A, and few constants are there. Okay, P phi Zn by 68. This is the equation of you can say the back EMF. Okay, now over here, suppose let's say my back EMF is constant. A is the number of parallel path, Z is the number of conductors, P is the number of poles. Okay, and 60 is also constant. So what can I write? Okay, I can write over here, that is 1, that is equivalent to 5 multiplied by n, and you are knowing that the field in separately excited DC motor is proportional to a field current, that is IF. Okay, that we are knowing. Okay, so from this we can say that n is proportional to 1 upon 5. Okay, so from this we can say that n is inversely proportional to the field current. Okay, so now how we'll do this? Okay, is it any query up to this? Please let me know. Okay. So we will be doing like this. Okay, we are having a field winding. Okay, suppose we are having a field winding over here. Okay, in the MATLAB we are not having a variable register that we can vary directly during the simulation. Okay, so what we will be doing? Okay, we will be designing the circuit like this. Okay, and one breaker will be there. So initially we'll cap this breaker on, so this resistance will be not there. Okay, now if we turn on this breaker, okay, if we close this breaker, then what will happen? The resistance will bypass. Now if we turn off this breaker, means if we open this breaker, then the current will follow the path through a resistor. Okay, and if the resistance is there in series, then the field current will reduce, and if the field current will reduce, then the speed should increase. Okay, so now let's do this thing, and let's try it in the MATLAB. So how to do that? Okay. Okay, so over here, if you go to a Simulink library, and if you go to a Simscape Foundation library, okay, and then yes, in electrical, okay, in electrical there is a specialized technology, and in that if you go to fundamental blocks, okay, now we are having elements, so we require one breaker. Okay, a simple breaker is there, and we'll require a resistor. So we'll select series RLC branch. Okay, so this thing we are using. Okay, let me delete it. Okay, we require one resistor. So if you double click on this, okay, you can series RLC branch. Okay, you can go for only resistance, then it will be a simple resistor. Okay, if you go to L, then it will be only inductor. If you go to a C, then it will be only capacitor. RL, then you will get resistance and inductor in series. So based on the requirement, you can modify this. Okay, so now let's select a resistance of 10 ohm. Okay, we are not knowing, okay, because we have not designed this. Okay, just let's try it. Okay, we are trying the resistance of 10 ohm in series. Okay, and first of all, let's try it with directly. Okay, so now we have added the one resistor of 10 ohm in series. Okay, and you can see initially right now the current is 1.06 ampere. Okay, and the speed at the full load condition that we are getting, that is 1750 rpm, that is a rated speed over here that we are obtaining. Okay, now let's run this simulation and let's check it whether any effect of the effect of this resistor is there or not. Okay, so now let's check the current. First of all, previously it is 1.06. Okay, now you can see, uh, is there any effect? Yes, there is a effect. See, current is reduced. Previously it was 1.06, now it is only a 1.03. Okay, 1.03. So there is a reduction of 0.03 ampere. Okay, that is very less reduction. So speed will not get affected much. So let's check the full load speed only. Yes, it is affected. You can see previously it is 1750. Now it is how much? It is 1790. It is 1795 RPM approximately. Okay, so you can see the effect over here. But let me show you its effect properly. Okay, so okay, let's go for the breaker over here, and we'll see the speed change. Okay, and source. Okay, initially the step time, let's select it is 1. Initially it's 0 and then 1. Okay, and let's run this simulation for 2 seconds. So now let's check the current. Okay. So till 3 seconds it is taking more time for the energization. Let's go for a 4 second. Okay, so you can see over here the current is changing from 1.03 second to 1.065 second. Okay, so now let's check the response of the speed for the same. Okay, we are inserting the resistance in series. Okay, so you can see over here, uh, uh, after 1 second there should be an increment in the speed. Yeah, 1750. Okay, let me check it over here where we are getting at 1 second. Yes, and at a 1 second, yes, but still it's not properly. Okay, let's increase the resistance first of all. Okay, and let's check it whether it will affect it or not. Okay, 10 instead of, let's go for 50. So there will be a more reduction in current, and we'll get more increment in the speed. Okay, so let me delete this. Okay, and let's check it. Okay, so you can see now previously it is the current was 1.06. Okay, 10 ohm resistance, the current was 1.03. Now it is 0.9055, and you can see the speed over here. Okay, previously it is 1750 RPM. Okay, now you can see it is 1950 RPM. Okay, so very great increment in the speed is there. Okay, and if you further increase the resistance, the current will reduce. Suppose if you go for 100. Okay, if you go for 100, okay, if you go for 100 ohm resistance, you can see the speed will further increase. Okay, the speed will further increase. Now you can see it is now 2120 rpm approximately. Okay, so this one will indicate that the speed in the DC motor, okay, it is inversely proportional to the field current. Okay, and by controlling the field current, okay, we can control the motor speed of a DC separately excited DC motor. Okay, but actually by inserting the resistance in series, okay, we are having one disadvantage. Can any student let me know the disadvantage of this method, inserting a resistance in series? What will be the disadvantage if we insert the resistance in series, okay, of the field winding to control the speed of a motor? What will be the disadvantage? Yes, uh, as we are inserting a resistance into the field winding, so what will happen? Actually, the field current is quite less compared to armature current. You can see this is the rated armature current. Okay, over here, you can see this is a rated armature current. Okay, that is approximately nearer to a 27 or 28 RPM. It should be. Okay, yes, 28, 28 RPM, 28.8 RPM. Okay, so compared to armature current, the field current is quite less. But still, if you are inserting a resistance over here, what will happen? Okay, the current, the same field current will also flow from this resistor, so it will lead to I square R losses. So overall loss of your system will increase. Overall losses of your drive system will increase, and it will reduce the efficiency of your system. Okay, so instead of that, what you can do? Instead of controlling the field current directly, okay, what you can do? You can you can directly modify this voltage. Okay, and how we can modify this voltage? We can go for one simple you can say the control rectifier. Okay, we can go for simple control rectifier. So we'll provide the supply from AC. Okay, then we'll use the control rectifier. So in control rectifier, by controlling the firing angle alpha, you can control the output voltage. Okay, so now the output voltage is controlled. So from that, the field current is being vary. Okay, and as the field current will vary, okay, your speed will also change. Okay, so instead of inserting a series resistance, we will be doing that nowadays. Okay, but still these methods are very traditional. Okay, nowadays no one is using this type of DC motor drives. Okay, but this is just for a learning purpose. Okay, for us. So now do you have any query in this? Student, do you have any query in this? Okay, now let me show you one another method. By varying the armature voltage also you can able to do that. Okay, and how you can do that? Okay, just connect the resistance in series. Okay, so I'm deleting the resistance from uh, the field winding. Okay, and we'll insert this resistance into armature winding, so that is known as a armature resistance control. Okay, and we will be inserting this resistance into the armature winding. So over here we have connected one resistance in series with the armature winding. Okay, and initially let's take a very smaller value because the huge amount of current is flowing. So let's select a 2 ampere. Okay, and let's run the simulation and let's observe the speed. Okay, so now let me share my screen. Okay, so you can see over here the originally the speed is 1750 rpm, that is the rated speed, but now you can see the speed is reduced to 1355 rpm. Okay, it is reduced to 1355 rpm. Okay, suppose let us remove this resistance from here. Okay, and let's check it. Let me show you the original value. Okay, what is the original speed and the current? You can see over here the originally the speed is how much? 1750 rpm. Okay, 1750 rpm, that is the rated speed. Okay, Now, if we insert the resistance over here, okay, if you insert the resistance over here, okay, so we are inserting the resistance of 2 ohm. Okay, if we insert the resistance over here, what will happen? You can see the speed is reduced. Okay, for insertion of 2 ohm resistance in armature, the speed is reduced to nearly 1355 rpm. It is reduced to 1355 rpm. Okay, now if you further increase the value of resistance, let's say a 3 ohm, okay, so there will be a further reduction in the speed because your armature current will reduce. So you can see over here the speed will further reduce. Okay, it is now 1160 rpm. Okay, and suppose let us make it 8 ohm. Okay, and you can see over here the speed is too much reduced. Okay, it is only 200 rpm. It is only 200 rpm, but you can see the current. Okay, to produce that same amount of torque, okay, the current will be, you can see, it is 20.7 ampere. Okay, so you can consider the amount of losses which will take place in this one. Okay, amount of losses which will take place in this resistor. Okay, so now one thing you should have observed over here, to control the speed of DC motor, okay, above the base speed and below the base speed. Okay, we are having, is my screen visible? Sorry student for the interruption issue. Okay, I got a call, so that's why internet is got disconnected. Okay, so one thing you should have observed, our base speed. Okay, our base speed is how much? Okay, our base speed, that is 1750 rpm. It is 1750 rpm. Okay, now I want to control the speed of motor above the base speed and below the base speed. Okay, so now if I draw the simple range over here, suppose let's say this is your speed axis, okay, and this is your base speed. Okay, now I want the speed control starting from 0 to the base speed and above the base speed. Okay, so over here you might have seen that to control the speed of a DC motor below the base speed, okay, you can go for armature control. You can go for armature control. See, in the field control we have seen that N is inversely proportional to the field current. Okay, so now if we are having a fixed DC source, okay, we cannot increase the current. Okay, so if we increase the current, we can able to reduce the speed. But another thing, the motor winding is designed to withstand the specific amount of voltage only. Okay, the rating of armature, okay, that is given, that is 250 volt. Okay, and the field winding that is given, that is 300 volt. Okay, so the armature is designed to withstand the voltage of 250 volt only, and field winding is designed to withstand the voltage of 300 volt only. Okay, so now if I want to reduce the speed of motor by increasing the field current, okay, by increasing the field current, so I have to increase the supply voltage, but I cannot do that. Why? Because we cannot go above the rated voltage. Okay, we cannot exceed the rated voltage which is given to a winding. Okay, so we cannot increase the voltage from 300 volt. So this method, okay, that is a field control method, cannot be suitable for controlling the speed below the base speed. Okay, so 1750 rpm is your base speed that we have seen. Okay, so we cannot able to use this method, that is a field control method, to control the speed of motor below the base speed. Why? Because to reduce the speed of motor, we have to increase the field current, and to increase the field current, we are only have one way, that is to increase the field voltage. Okay, and the field voltage we cannot exceed, we can go higher, okay, than the voltage. Okay, so now over here, same way in case of armature. Okay, armature voltage control. Okay, if you want to increase the speed, then you have to increase the voltage. So if you are providing a rated armature voltage, then your speed will be a rated speed, that is 1750 rpm. But if you want to go above the rated speed, okay, then we cannot exceed the 2250 volt. Okay, so armature, yes, we can reduce the voltage. Okay, we can reduce the voltage, and by inserting a resistance in series, by using a control rectifier. Okay, so over here, oh, below the base speed we can go for the armature control, and above the base speed we should go for a field control. Okay, this thing you should keep in your mind. Okay, why armature control is preferred below the base speed? Why? Because by reducing the voltage we can reduce the speed, and we can operate the motor from zero speed to a base speed by keeping the field constant, by keeping the flux constant. Now once you're operating at a rated speed, or you can say a base speed, and you want to further increase the speed, we cannot increase the armature voltage. Okay, we cannot able to increase the armature voltage. So for that you have to go for another method, that is field control. So in field control, what you can do, you can reduce the field current by inserting a resistance, or you can reduce the field voltage. So effectively the field current will reduce, and by reducing the field current you can further go for the higher speed operation. Okay, but over here, what will be the difference in the torque and power? Okay, so over here from zero to base speed, you are actually operating your motor into a constant torque mode. So if I plot this characteristic as a torque, then it will be operating as a constant torque mode. Then above the base speed, it will operate into a constant power mode. So this is operating at constant torque mode, and after that it will operate on constant power mode. Why it is like that? Okay, because we can this is also the same thing in case of V by F control of an induction motor. Okay, over here what is happening actually, your speed is increasing. Okay, your speed is increasing. Okay, and we are having the equation T, okay, that is equivalent to P divided by omega. T equivalent to P by omega. Okay, P is your power and omega is your speed, and T, suppose let's say if you are talking about the electromagnetic torque which is produced by a motor. So now suppose if I am not increasing the armature current, I am not increasing the armature current. Okay, so actually the armature current is actually taking care of your loading, okay, of mechanical loading on the shaft. So you are not increasing the power, but you are increasing the speed. So P is constant. Okay, and speed is increasing. So what will happen? The torque will reduce. So you can see over here, the torque is reducing. Okay, so in constant power zone, your torque is reducing. If you further increase the speed, the torque will further reduce. And from zero to base speed, you are actually controlling the armature current. Okay, starting from zero voltage. Okay, so you are controlling this armature voltage. So you are actually controlling the power. Okay, so power is increasing. Also, the speed is increasing. So both of them are increasing. Okay, so your torque will remain constant. So this is a constant torque zone, and it is constant power zone. Okay, so this is a very you can say a basic torque speed characteristic and control speed range of separately excited DC motor. So from zero to base speed, you can go for armature control, and from base speed to above, okay, you can go for a field control. And in zero to base speed in armature control, you can able to operate your motor into a constant torque zone. Okay, and above the base speed it is operating in constant power mode, where torque is declining as the speed is increasing. Okay, so this is all for today's session. Okay, now if you are having any doubt or any query, you can ask me, we can discuss that.
Sir. Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
What is best suitable version for MATLAB? 2020 or 2019?
See, best suitable version means what? As per my
Hmm.
opinion, okay, if you are having a MATLAB
Hmm.
2009, okay, then it's also
Okay.
enough for
Yes.
us. Okay, as the versions are
Okay.
increasing, it will increase the, you can say, the processing time. So your system will slow down. But if you are having
Okay.
MATLAB 2013 or 14, it's quite enough. Okay, after that,
Okay.
all the versions, that is after 2014, MATLAB 2014A, 2014B, okay, then there is
Mhm.
2015 version, 16 version, 17 version is there, 18 is there. I'm having 2019.
Okay.
Even 2020 version is also there with me. But what is the
Okay.
difference between these versions? Okay, they are including
Hmm.
more tools and they are optimizing that tools. And nowadays they are mostly introducing new tools for AI, machine learning, and signal processing. Okay, but
Okay.
for
Okay.
us, okay, if you are preferring, if you are having a MATLAB 2014, okay, that's quite enough
Okay.
because it is having
Quite
all
enough.
the blocks that we need for doing our simulation.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
but if your system is not having, you can say, a high configuration, then I suggest always go for a lower version because we are having all these blocks available in the older version also. And if you go for a newer version, okay, it will increase too much burden on your system and it will slow down your system. Okay, any doubt from any of the student? I think Heath have joined late. Okay, thank you. So please try this simulation. Okay. Uh, okay, no issue. I will give you the recording of this particular session. Okay, programming. See, in the over here, there is no need of doing the programming. Why? Because you are having a ready-made block available with you. Akash, I am answering your questions only. Okay, over here we are directly using the various Simulink blocks, so there is no need of doing the programming. But whenever you are actually designing the drive, okay, whenever you are actually designing the drive, suppose let's say you are an industrial engineer and your industry is designing a DC motor drive. So in that case, you have to enter all the details, all these features you have to include through a software only. Okay, you have to do the coding of a controller that you are using, processor that you are using. Suppose you are using ARM Cortex, then you have to do the programming in ARM Cortex for controlling that drive. Okay, but over here we are just using the various blocks. Suppose let's say if you want to design the closed loop control over here, and it's also quite simple for us. Why? Because just take one signals from here, okay, then give it to the compare it with the reference signal. Okay, so you can also design it by using the Simulink block. Okay, means in graphical manners. There is no need of doing the programming over here. But yes, whenever you are actually implementing or preparing the drive or designing the drive, okay, it is very complicated. Why? Because the speed signal, see, we are directly measuring over here and the information of speed is available to us. But actually, you have to connect the encoder with the shaft of the motor. Okay, and the output of the encoder is in terms of pulses. So you have to calibrate that encoder to measure the speed. And the output of the encoder should be given to ADC. Okay, and ADC will convert the output of encoder into a digital signal, and that is to be given to a controller. And then inside the controller, you have to design the complete closed loop system. Okay, so during that time, the program will take. Okay, right now there is no need of programming, simulating this. Okay, and we are having the various the tools are available with us. Okay, that is RTLab. Okay, that is a rapid control prototyping tools. Even DSpace is there. So if you are having a concept with you, just implement that concept in MATLAB. The MATLAB will do the coding for you. Okay, and you can directly load that model into these tools that are RTLab and DSpace. Okay, so just you have to worry about the power circuits only. Okay, the controlling task will be automatically taken care by the MATLAB and your RCP platform, that is a DSpace and RTLab. Okay, so that is very a huge advantage that we are getting. Okay, while we are doing the research, so we don't have to waste the time in doing the programming. See, if you want to operate the MATLAB with very fast speed, okay, suppose many of you are asking for a higher end version of the MATLAB. Okay, right now I am having MATLAB 2019. Even I have tested 2020 also in my system. Okay, but the basic requirement that you need, okay, the speed of MATLAB will depend on your system. Okay, in the version, which version you are using. Suppose if you are having 2014, okay, and if you are having a 3 GB or 4 GB RAM and i5 7th generation or onward, okay, and it will be quite enough. Okay, you can easily operate your MATLAB. But if you are having a SSD, okay, then it will be quite okay. The graphics, there is no need, okay, because we are not utilizing that any of the tool. Yes, if you go for image processing and very high end AI algorithm, then there might be the need of graphics. Over here right now for a simple simulation, we don't, or simple algorithm, we don't need the graphics. Okay. Yes, it will work okay without any issue. Okay, if it is i3, okay, then I suggest you please go for MATLAB 2009 or 2011. Don't go for 2014 also. Okay, students. So now, is there any doubt or any query? Okay, so now I am ending this meeting, and also my MATLAB version is 2013. Yes, okay, Ahmed, it will work. Okay, it's 2013 is having all the tools that we are using right now. Okay, all the tools are there and all the blocks are there. The one advantage that you are getting in 2014, it's having a solar panel model of the solar panel, as well as the model of battery is also there in the version 2014, I think 14 onward. Okay, but whenever we will be doing the simulation on solar, okay, then we require that. And even if you are not having 2014 and you want to do the simulation for a solar, you can design the solar panel by your own. Okay, in 2019 also you can design the solar panel. Okay, so now do you need this simulation? Because previously also I have said this simulation. Okay, if you need it, I am sending this model again into the chat. Okay, so I am sending it in the chat section here only. Okay, in the chat of this meeting. Okay, I have sent it to everyone. Please download it from here. Once you have downloaded, please let me know. Okay, so thank you everyone for attending this session. Have a nice day.